Coming up on Broncos Weekend, with Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs making their way to the Mile High City, we'll discuss what the Broncos need to do to limit the Chiefs' offensive production and ignite their own in an effort to get their first win in the West this season. Broncos Weekend starts right now. Joining us for the Week 14 edition of Broncos Weekend, everyone. I'm Alexis Perry, thrilled to have the dynamic duo of Steve Atwater and Big O here with us today to get you set for the Broncos' first matchup with the Chiefs this season. Being around the team this week, you guys can tell that this team is eager for the opportunity to end the Chiefs' winning streak up against the Broncos. While Kansas City has the league's most prolific offense, we've seen the Chiefs held to just 17 points earlier this season, and if there's any defense that could do the same, it's Denver's, which is giving up the second fewest points in the NFL. Guys, I think it's safe to say that it's the Broncos offense that will need to step up this week. So what needs to click for this offense to give this team the chance to win?
Well, obviously, they just have to get on the same page. And, we've had some times where we've gotten it, but it hasn't been consistent enough. We haven't had enough plays where everybody was going to the whistle, everybody's doing the right thing, everybody's in the right place at the right time. I think that's the biggest thing we got to have is everybody just clicking.
It's the toughest test that this team has faced in years. Everybody knows when you play against Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs, you have to win the time of possession battle. Mm-hmm. That is a must-have, right? So we've seen the times this year where the Broncos have went out there and in an entire series, they've only ran 15 seconds off the clock. That cannot happen this week. So look for multiple shifts, multiple formations, motions to try to catch this Kansas City defense offhand, but also be able to manipulate the coverage that they're showing you and disguise what you're doing up front offensively. This is the hardest test for Clint Kubiak, Justin Outten, and Nathaniel Hackett. It's going to take all three minds to be competitive and to give Kansas City a game this week.
All right, well, the Broncos have the opportunity to play spoiler this Sunday. If the Chiefs win and the Chargers lose to the Dolphins, Kansas City will clinch the West title and punch their ticket for the playoffs. Guys, we know that they will do this eventually, but just how big would it be for the Broncos to delay them just even one more week?
I think it would be huge for them. They really haven't had a ton of ups this year. The last one being when we played the Jacksonville Jaguars over in London. So this would be a good shot in the arm. I think good for everybody, even Broncos country, for them to slow them down. Obviously, they're going to be in the playoffs and probably going to go deep in the playoffs.
Right.
But if we can get a victory here somehow, then I think it'll bode well for us.
Yeah. At this point of the season, 3-9 football team, right? That's the goal. What can you say each and every week? What little battle do you have in your mind psychologically to get you going? We all came through a pandemic a couple years ago. We all got a chance to watch The Last Dance with Michael Jordan. Mm-hmm. And seeing Michael Jordan, the behind the scenes, and man, I would tell myself this and I would tell myself that, even knowing that that's not true, just to find a way to motivate yourself. Well, you have an opportunity to now knock off a team and delay them a week from punching their postseason ticket that has beat you since, and the last time you've won is September of 2015. That's big enough. That's a big enough reason enough to go out there and put together a dominant performance.
Overall, what else is this team playing for week in and week out here down the stretch?
Again, I always say guys are playing for pride. They're playing for respect. Other teams are watching. Obviously, our team is watching. The Broncos country is watching. And I just can't imagine, not playing well and going out into the community. And if you haven't given it your all, how the fans feel and how fans react to you. So I encourage you guys to give it your all because Broncos country is watching.
Yeah. It's the National Football League. 3.5 years is the average. You're playing for your livelihood always, right? Every time you step out there and you put anything on tape, the whole world is watching. Whether it's the Denver Broncos and they're considering to bring you back next year or keep you around, other 31 teams in the National Football League, they get to see you as well. So each and every week, I would say, you know what? I could delay Kansas City this week, but then I could ruin the Christmas of Baker Mayfield and Sean McVay, right? So you have to find little ways each and every week to motivate yourself. But the big one, it's the Chiefs.
Right.
There is a rivalry. this town, this fan base, we absolutely hate this football team. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the emotion, just the raw emotion to go out there and pour out, and a big hit. Somebody, please make a big hit that I can hold my hat on for next season, because I watched what the Las Vegas Raiders did this year, and I watched Derek Carr go out there and him crying, and now that team has turned it around.
Yeah.
That whole fan base, like it or not, yes, you could talk about all these different things that happened earlier in the season, but that fan base has something to hold on to for next year. I'm looking for the Broncos over these next 5 games. Give me something. Yeah. Give this fan base something to hold on to for next year as well.
All right, well, still to come here on Broncos Weekend, Steve and Big O will break down a couple of key plays for the Broncos and Chiefs Week 13 losses before we discuss some of the key matchups the Broncos will need to win in order to upset the Chiefs. Don't go anywhere.
Coaches always say leave it all out there, but he really did leave it all out there on the football field.
There's Thomas out over the 45 midfield. Here we go.
He was like electrifying.
DT's got it. Touchdown Denver.
Tall, strong, fast, explosive.
Our name was Thunder and Lightning, but he could have been Thunder and Lightning, really.
He made simple and humble look so cool.
He was one of a kind. We'd never see anybody else like him.
Welcome back to Broncos Weekend, everyone. Time for some X's and O's with Steve Atwater and Big O as we break down a couple of big plays from the Broncos and Chiefs' most recent outings. So let's start with the Denver Broncos. We talked last segment about needing to see some more offensive firepower this week, and big plays like this one on first down late in the second quarter to Jerry Jeudy was a great example of that. Steve, what did you see on this play?
Well, with Russell Wilson being under center and then giving the play fake, that helped everything. That helped the linebackers come up and make enough room back there in the back for Jerry Jeudy to do his thing. Russ got about 9 yards deep in his drop, stepped up and launched a beautiful pass. Now, the safety on this play was totally out of position. He was way too far to the left. He should have been more in the middle of the field, middle of the formation. And Jerry Jeudy and Russell Wilson took advantage of that. Jerry Jeudy gave him the stem like he was going to the outside, broke it back to the inside. It also helped that the cornerback at the bottom of the screen was playing a little too close on Greg Dulcich. I think he may have been trying to get an interception or something, and he had to just hurry out of there to try and get deep, but he was a little bit too late. Jerry Jeudy made a great catch. He showed that speed as well, running away from the safety.
Yeah. So for me on this play, it's the reason why I played football growing up. It's the ultimate team sport. This play is a true example of it takes a village. From, Latavius Murray helping Calvin Anderson because Calvin Anderson went down a little bit too far on the defensive end. From Graham Glasgow helping Quinn Miners because Quinn Miners slid a little bit past the defensive tackle. From Graham Glasgow's back helping Dalton Reisner because Dalton Reisner threw the defender into his back. From Russell Wilson helping Cam Fleming, who falls down in the play, but Russell Wilson is able to get the ball out of his hands fast. Jerry Jeudy helping Russell Wilson by running through his route and, giving 110%. Greg Dulcich is helping out this entire team by getting off and bursting off the line of scrimmage to keep that corner's eyes on him where he can't fall back in to make a play on the ball laid out there. And my favorite player on this whole entire play, Eric Thomason, blocking the outside linebacker, the defensive end, by himself.
Yeah.
Right? Where everybody else on the offensive line were able to get help from somewhere. But you have big dog number 87 saying, put it all on me, I will get it done, with a guy that's known to rush the passer and holds up for Russell Wilson. So that's why I love this play, because it shows you that all 11 guys, you don't have to be right, but as long as you're playing together, you're able to have success.
Right.
All right, well, as for Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs, while we know Travis Kelce is Patrick's favorite target, he has a number of other weapons in his arsenal to choose from, including Marquez Valdes-Scantling. Guys, what did the Chiefs do well on this play, and where did you see the biggest weaknesses in the Bengals' coverage?
Well, they did great by really adjusting to the situation. Looked like it was a jailhouse break with the Cincinnati Bengals. Looked like they were rushing 7. It was really a 6-man rush. Somebody had the back. I'm not sure who it was exactly. But, man, they were coming. Patrick Mahomes did a good job of backing up, getting more depth. He got back to about 11 yards deep and just launched it. And Marquez Valdes-Scantling did a great job of of tracking the ball, getting in position, taking advantage of the safeties who were playing they were double teaming inside out, and the inside safety, the guy who was third from the top of the screen, he was a little bit slow to get off his back pedal, got in trouble, and Mahomes took advantage of that. And that's one thing that we can't do. We got to make sure that if we got guys running on us, we got to make sure we get our depth and be in proper position to make the play.
It's too telegraphed. You have 7 guys on the line of scrimmage pre-snapped, and you have 4 guys that are lined up 10 yards, all in a straight line. Everybody and their mom knows that is zero coverage.
Yes.
It is man-to-man coverage. Kansas City's in a 3-by-1 formation, and you could tell exactly who has who. You know it's man. You cannot afford to go out there and give Patrick Mahomes a pre-snap read, and your guys are going to blitz me, and you guys are 10 yards away from my guys. I promise you he's going to get the ball out of his hands fast. So how do we eliminate this? We get creative with our defensive calls. We have to spin our rotations down late. We cannot just sit up there and line up and have our heels in the ground and just be flat-footed and tell him that this is the defense that we're playing. We got to be able to be creative against Patrick Mahomes, and we have to find a way to get after him by just rushing 4 this week as well.
All right, well, coming up on the other side of the break, we will touch on some key matchups that you will want to keep a close eye on this Sunday. Don't go anywhere.
I believe DT would give his last dollar to somebody who needed it.
Always willing to help, wanting to take care of people, looking out for people, loving people.
He loved kids, and he loved to give back.
DT genuinely wanted me to be the best Von Miller I could possibly be on and off the football field.
No matter what you put in front of him or what you threw his way, what he had already been through was the hardest thing he ever been through, so everything else didn't even matter.
I appreciate everything he did. His presence was magnificent to me.
Welcome back to Broncos Weekend, everyone. Time now for a few of the key matchups between the Broncos and Chiefs. Starting with the signal callers, given the result of this game will be largely dependent on what these two guys will be able to do through the air on Sunday. Patrick Mahomes is coming off one of his least productive games this season, while Russell Wilson had one of his better games in terms of rating against the Ravens, but still wasn't able to find the end zone all day. These two have gone head-to-head once before back in 2018. Wilson threw for 3 touchdowns, and Doug Baldwin had 126 yards receiving in a Seahawks win. So guys, how can Wilson tap into that version of himself this week and try to stay undefeated up against Patrick Mahomes?
Yeah, well, I would say we got to do something similar to what he did when he was able to connect with Doug Baldwin. That is, try to connect with one receiver, and I would make that guy Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Jeudy hasn't had a 100-yard reception game. He got close to it, but didn't get 100 yards. And we haven't targeted him more than 7 times this year in any particular game. I like to see us target him 12, 13, 14, 15 times a game to see what he produces. And I think he will come up big. He'll make some big plays. He'll make people miss after he catches the ball, and he'll get in the end zone.
And he'll have to with Courtland Sutton out this week, more than likely.
Yeah, just kind of going back to kind of what you said, the first time that these guys matched up, AP, Russell Wilson had 29 attempts. He had 271 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, right? Patrick Mahomes went absolutely berserk as well. Went 23 completions on 40 attempts, 273 yards, and 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. The Seattle Seahawks ended up winning that game 38-31. There was a run game in that game as well. They turned around, they stayed ahead on 3rd down, they handed the ball off to their running backs, allowed them to do the work, and also allowed their wide receivers to go out there and get that yak, those yards after the catch. So Russell was able to get the ball out of his hands quick, rely on a strong running game, be successful on 1st and 2nd down to now turn it into 3rd and manageable in order to have success. That has always been the formula to beat Patrick Mahomes. That's what everybody has saw since a couple years ago with Todd Bowles and that defense and being able to get pressure on Patrick Mahomes. But you have to be able to win the time of possession. So the run game has to be correct this week. Let's not dilly and dally and try to see what Montrell Washington can do in the run game or these other guys. It should be a heavy dosage of Mike Boone and Latavius Murray when you are running the football. Those guys have been here for a while. They have got the ball in their hands. Let's not mess around and try new things. And Russell Wilson You have to be efficient. There's no, I'm looking for the deep shot, I'm looking for the deep shot. No, you should be saying, I got to get the ball out of my hands as fast as possible. I have Chris Jones, who's a bear of a man that's kind of rushed me, and, he's going to win at times, but also you have Clark, you have Dunlap. So there's multiple guys on this Chiefs defense that could get after us, but it has to be that internal clock that's ticking where he's getting the ball out of his hands and he knows where to go with the football pre-snap.
We all saw the Bengals. They held Patrick Mahomes well below his average 317 yards passing per game. Steve, what did you see the Bengals do that really helped them win that game?
Well, they did a great job of kind of mixing it up. They brought some pressures. We saw the one play earlier where they blitzed. It looked like it was 7 guys. They also would only rush 3 players, and it looked like everybody else was dropped back in zone coverage. They also did a great job of disguising coverages, and from time to time they would also double team Travis Kelce. So they pulled everything out of the box, and they were able to have success, but also they scored points on their offense. Their offense scored points.
Steve, you mentioned Travis Kelce. He had just 4 catches for 56 yards as the Bengals really focused all of their attention on him. Is that the blueprint this week?
Yeah, so Steve hit it right on the head because it was a bold strategy. I'm watching this game with Cincinnati, and I'm seeing them only rush 3 guys, and I'm saying, whoa, you never really see this. Everybody kind of wants to either pick and choose when to blitz or at least send 4 after Patrick Mahomes. But when you have 3 guys that have that relentless Russian mentality and is just going to go and go and go like they're the Energizer Bunny, and you're keeping them fresh, what Cincinnati did, they kept a heavy rotation with that defensive line. Now you can drop 8 guys, and you can make sure, hey, where's Travis Kelce? We're going to double him. Where is Julius Smith-Schuster? We're going to double him. Where's another guy? We're going to double him and we'll man-to-man 2 other guys. We'll man-to-man the running back coming out the backfield or one of their other wide receivers. So it was a bold strategy, but it was a strategy that I really liked. But the reason why there was success is because Cincinnati didn't play around. They made sure anytime those defensive linemen, those big boys got tired, they sent in a new person to make sure they could have the same rush mentality, keep on going throughout the whole entire game.
Okay, you mentioned the Bengals defensive line, but as for the Chiefs defensive line, we've also talked about Chris Jones a little bit already. How does this offensive line for the Broncos win this battle this week?
Okay, so for me, it's very simple. Break the huddle. Where's 95? Is it a pass play? Okay, 95's to the right. We're sliding to him. We're not going to play around. Is he to the left? We're sliding to him then. Chris Jones should know the game plan after the first series for the Denver Broncos. They're sliding to you every single time when it's a pass play. Okay, now, is it a run play? Where's 95? Oh, he's to the left. We're going to run the ball to the right. Oh, he's to the right. We're going to run the ball to the left. It is very simple. In the run game, run away from him. In the pass game, slide the protection to him.
Yeah, Chris Jones, man, 6'5", 310 pounds. He's a huge human being. He has that dog mentality, and he plays to the whistle. So when we got a guy who is responsible for him one-on-one, you got to get low, dig in, and be ready for a battle. He's going to try to push you into the quarterback. He's going to try to knock your hands down. He's going to do everything he can to get to that quarterback. He's got to the quarterback 10 times this year. He's tied for 5th in the NFL right now with 10 sacks.
As an interior pass rush.
As an interior,
yes. Crazy.
Absolutely nuts.
Any other key matchups, guys?
So for me, I want to see what Jerry Jeudy's going to do. I'm looking forward to this game because Jerry's coming in and you're the number 1.
Yep.
You're the number 1. You know it that you're the number 1. Russ knows it. He's relying on you. So I really want to see what Jerry Jeudy's going to do. Does he build upon last week? Does he get involved early in the game? And is he involved often? Because this should be a game for Jerry Jeudy that he sees at least 10 targets. Go win this thing for your football team. Go put it on the line and make sure that you get open for your quarterback, that you're the only guy that's been there, that was getting reps from day one. I know he was the number 3 wide receiver from day one when Cortland and Tim Patrick was up, but he's the one constant that Russell Wilson's going to have this week.
Times have changed.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that's going to be a great matchup. I'm also looking forward to, like last week, the inside linebacker and running back matchup, Latavius Murray and Nick Bolton. Like Nick Bolton when he came out of the University of Missouri, heck of a player. He's been making plays since he got there to the Kansas City Chiefs. He's been flying around this year. I'm anxious to see once they meet up what it'll look like.
Okay, this is going to be hard for you, Big O. One key to victory. Just one.
Victory, huh?
Time of possession. You said it earlier. I feel like that might be it.
So for me, it's points. Because I know this defense. This is the defense's Super Bowl this week. It's Patrick Mahomes. There's a lot of guys on this defense that have played against Patrick Mahomes, has been embarrassed by him time and time again. Offensively, it's about points. You have to find a way to not settle for field goals and make sure that you're scoring 7.
Steve, the number one key to victory?
Well, I would say the defense, we know they're going to come out and do their thing, and they're going to play at a high level. But offensively, the key to us getting the victory, one, I would say, getting Jerry Jeudy 15 targets, but also getting Latavius Murray 20 carries. He'll go well over 75, 80 yards. That should be enough to get the win.
I said 1. He didn't do just 1. He gave us 2. I'm sorry, Big O.
Sometimes we got to do
I had to limit you a little bit.
Hey, sometimes Hall of Fame, Super Bowl, I can see.
He could do 2.
Sometimes he does it, sometimes I do it.
I love it. Well, that is all the time we have for Broncos Weekend, everyone. We will see you out in Power Field at Mile High Sunday for the 2:05 kickoff between the Broncos and Chiefs. In the meantime, be sure to come right back here to the Broncos YouTube channel Saturday at 5 o'clock p.m. for Demaryius Thomas, the Heart of a Legend, detailing the life and legacy of the late, great number 88. Until next time, thank you so much for watching.